Now, this is how it's done. Democratic lawmakers on Capitol Hill ripping Donald Trump and these MAGA Republican sycophants to shreds over the unlawful war against Iran, as well as Trump and the MAGA Republicans cover up of the child sex trafficking ring within the Epstein files and covering up for the Epstein class. Now, as you know, the MeidasTouch network now has a Washington, D.C. bureau led by Pablo Manríquez. So we're right there inside the Capitol building, on the steps of the Capitol. That's where Pablo Manríquez controls those steps along with some other independent medias. Pablo is leading the way. I want to show you what went down as Pablo Manríquez spoke to Democratic Congresswoman AOC. Here, play this clip.
Congresswoman, what's your message to Americans who are concerned about another forever war in the Middle East?
Well, I think first and foremost, the reality that we have here is very clear. The vast majority of Americans are against a war with Iran. Two things can be true at the same time. We can acknowledge the brutal reality of the Iranian regime and their murdering of protesters and targeting of people. And we can also know for sure that a forever war will not resolve that issue. We've seen what's happened in other areas of the Middle East, in Libya and Syria and beyond. Of course, the war in Iraq. And we are already at multiple American service members that are dead for in illegal action that the president has pursued with no plan out. They don't know why they got into this war. They're talking about 400 or 500 different reasons, and they don't know how they're getting out. They have plunged the world into major global instability. Things have never been more dangerous in many ways. And it is our responsibility to stabilize the situation and bring us back from the brink. And a war with Iran is not how we do that, and it's not how we accomplish anyone's goals.
More from Congresswoman AOC here. Let's play this clip.
And is there, like, it's not just American servicemen who have been killed. Obviously, there was a girls' school in Iran. Do we know anything about that situation? Like, you know, I guess what's your message to, the Iranians who are...
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's beyond just the American service members who have tragically died in this, and our hearts do go out and prayers to their families, but also the over 100 Iranian schoolgirls that have been killed in these attacks, and the countless people who are affected, possibly displaced in the potential of war as well. This is really about our humanity and strategic interests. It's both the same thing, is that a war with Iran and global war that, as we've seen, of course, is just not what Americans want, and I don't think that it's what the majority of people around the world want.
Then Congresswoman AOC talks about just how impulsive and reckless Donald Trump is and going into these forever wars and just engaging in these atrocities. Here, play this clip.
What's your message to Americans who think that bombing of Iran was in some way sort of intended to distract Americans from the Epstein files?
Well, listen, I think we're seeing this pattern, right? Trump has impulsively went in on Venezuela. He impulsively went in on Iran. There was no exit and no end game for either of these situations. It led to increased global instability everywhere he goes, and every time he's done that, it has been consistent with a spike or a revelation in what is happening with the Epstein files. I don't think that coincidence is something to dismiss off the cuff. I think that he feels existentially tied to it. And I actually think that it is one reason that he must be removed from office, because if the Epstein files has such a hold on President Trump and this administration that they are willing to plunge us and risk world war in order to save themselves politically, that is a person, the definition of someone that cannot make objective decisions for the American people.
Then Pablo Manríquez was in the Capitol tunnel where he spoke with Congresswoman Anzari. She has just been so incredible in her leadership on Capitol Hill. We've seen her in the House Oversight Committee exposing the Epstein class, getting to the bottom of Donald Trump's despicable cover-up of that child sex trafficking ring. She's also been a powerful voice opposing the unlawful war against Iran. More of this, please. Here's Congresswoman Anzari inside the tunnel of the Capitol building. Let's play this clip.
Congressman, what can we do to prevent another forever war in the Middle East at this point?
We have a critical war powers resolution on the floor tomorrow that is a bipartisan resolution that makes very clear that the United States Constitution leaves the power to declare war with Congress. This administration has been so reckless in its decision to launch an illegal war with no clear intentions, objectives that change by the day, no plan forward. I am extremely concerned about the future of the Iranian people who've already been massacred by the tens of thousands by this regime, the Islamic Republic. They have to go, but that is not even what the Trump administration has said. So beyond the fact that this is a costly, illegal war, that American service members have already died, that American lives are at risk, this administration does not care about the Iranian people. They're bombing indiscriminately as we speak. So I have a lot of concerns. I brought these issues up yesterday in the briefing that members of Congress had, asked questions regarding what the plan is for the future of the Iranian people, and was told directly that is not part of this mission. Wow. And there's reports that the CIA is arming groups, separatist groups in Iraq and on the border of Iran that could cause civil war and mass chaos and instability for years to come. There's also reports that the Trump administration is looking at making a deal with somebody else in the IRGC. So it is just so poorly planned, unplanned, and just a very, very dark time for this country and the world.
More from Congresswoman Anzari right here. Let's play this clip.
Do you have any more information about the girls' school that was bombed over the weekend? Like what went on there?
It's reported that it was their U.S. or Israeli strikes, that more than 150 children were killed. It's devastating. I mean, these are the casualties of war. Again, right now they're saying over 1,000 civilians have already been lost, and this is coming after tens of thousands were already massacred. So I just urge the administration to please think about the Iranian people in this, think about their future, think about the trauma and devastation they've already been through, and come up with a real strategic plan to transition to democracy and end the bombing as soon as possible.
Pablo Manríquez was then able to speak with Democratic Senator Chris Murphy. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
Can you update us on Homeland spending talks right now? Where do things stand? And does this change anything?
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're not close to an agreement. I've heard Republicans suggest that, we should fund ICE because they started an illegal war with Iran. That's ridiculous. The American public wants ICE to stop murdering people, and they also don't want us at war with Iran. So that seems to be a pretty simple set of explanations for a simple set of instructions for the American people.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Prem Thacker over at Zetio. I want to give a shout out to the reporters at Dropsite who were on Capitol Hill. They found a crew. It's like Pablo, it's Thacker, it's the Dropsite guy. They're working together as a team, asking these lawmakers the tough questions. I want you to watch as Pablo and Prem speak to over here Fetterman, who's purportedly calls himself a Democrat, although we know that's really in name only at this point. He's become a Trump sycophant. And I want you to watch some just insane stuff by Fetterman. Hat tip to Pablo and Prem for sticking to it and asking Fetterman the tough questions. Thanks to you for empowering the MeidasTouch network with this Washington, D.C. bureau. Play this clip.
What was made of the war's Iranian naval ship today?
Oh, I want to offer condolences to your boss. I know he's all broke up.
Who?
About the Ayatollah.
Who's our boss?
What?
Who's our boss?
Huh?
Who are you saying is our boss?
Who do you work for?
But I work for Migrant Insider. We do the immigration.
No, I thought you worked for Zetio.
No, that's him. That's this guy. That's him. Yeah.
You work for Zetio?
No.
No, okay, sorry.
I wrote a story about for Zetio once, though.
You're offering your condolences to my boss?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying though, it's like, I know who you work for, he's very anti-Israel. And
We just supported humanitarian law,
he's
sir.
very anti-Israel, and I'm very pro-Israel, so we can agree and disagree on things.
Sure. Do you think it's okay for the U.S. to bomb an Iranian naval ship in international waters?
I think the world's better than he is, and I think it's a good thing now that Iran's never acquired a nuclear bomb.
What about the naval ship today, though?
Well, they have where else they can. And if they think it's a good idea to have a nuclear bomb, you disagree on that.
You can't get him in there.
Is it okay to bomb the naval ships without a declaration of war?
I'm sorry, I support killing the Iranian leadership.
I'm not talking about leadership.
Why wasn't he upset about the way they killed all the Iranians? Why wasn't he upset about it? He wasn't angry about killing the thousands of young.
Now, before the news broke about Kristi Noem being fired, bye-bye, Kristi. Get ready to be prosecuted in Minnesota and other places, Kristi, because that's a coming. Anyway, AOC was answering questions from Pablo Manríquez. Let's play this clip.
Kristi Noem admitted finally to the House, to Congressman Neguse, that the $220 million advertising contract was actually a no-bid contract, directly contradicting what she told the Senate yesterday. What do we need to do to get to the bottom of these egregious sort of expenditures coming out of the Department of Homeland Security and the lies that we've had to cut through to get to this truth?
I think at a certain point, we are going to have a collective effort to really examine and explore who has lied under oath and who has perjured themselves under oath, and pursue serious investigations to that end. I've seen plenty of hearings, of course, in Congress. There are, of course, moments where people may misspeak. That's a different matter. What we have seen from Kristi Noem lying about what she has done at DHS, to Kash Patel lying about what is and isn't in the Epstein files, to secretary and administration official down the line, there is no mistake that there is cover-up after cover-up of illegal activity happening in this administration, and the only way that the law means anything is if we prosecute those who violate it. And I want this administration to start adhering to the law as quickly as possible, and that's what my advice would be to people, because we all swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States. We do not swear an oath to the president. We do not swear an oath to any one individual. We swear an oath to the Constitution. And our obligation to the law is clear. And if Kristi Noem and people like Kash Patel and people like Pam Bondi, who's also in violation of the disclosure on Epstein files as well, is that if they want to violate the law, there are supposed to be consequences. These are people who call themselves alleged law enforcement officers. And the message that they're sending is that they can cover up for pedophiles, and they can cover up for street executions, and that they can cover up for some of the most heinous crimes that are happening in the United States of America. And that cannot be acceptable from any party.
Now, we were also able to speak with MAGA Republican Senator Bernie Moreno over in Ohio about his donations that he received and he loves from Epstein class and Epstein co-conspirator Les Wexner. Watch this interaction between Pablo, great job Pablo, and Senator Moreno. Play this clip.
Quick question. It came up that you got money from Les Wexner. I think it was a $3,500 donation. Any comment on receiving money? Or are you going to give it back?
Why would I do that?
Just because he's a alleged co-conspirator in the Epstein files.
Gotcha. How about Reid Hoffman? Did you ask every Democrat if they're going to give back Reid Hoffman's contributions?
No, I haven't, but that's a good question. I'm willing to ask them.
Who gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democrats? And how about the Goldman Sachs lawyer?
But if I ask,
also there. My point is, first of all, Les Wexner cut off ties with Epstein over almost 2 decades ago. He has not been charged with any crimes whatsoever. He sat through a testimony for hours in which he answered all their questions, and there wasn't a single shred of evidence that came out that he did anything other than, you know what he's guilty of? Here's what he's guilty of. Yeah. Hiring a terrible human being. And if hiring a terrible human being is a crime, then Joe Biden would be away for life, because the cabinet he had was the most inept cabinet in American history. So this idea that Republicans are held to a different standard because there's an allegation about somebody, so you have to give that contribution back. But here's what I am willing to do. Make a deal. Right? Make a deal. That's what we're going to do. I will give back every single campaign contribution I took in during my campaign if every TV and newspaper media company give back all the money I spent on their commercials, because technically that $3,500 didn't go to me. That $3,500 flowed through my campaign directly to a TV station in Ohio. So if you get Nexstar, Tegna, Sinclair to issue refunds, we will happily do that, because ultimately they took the money. So you should be asking those companies if they're going to give back the money, because they just flowed through.
So would you take money from Wes Wexner again to give to TV and media companies for ads?
What did he do wrong? Can you imagine if we live in a world in which just the mere accusation to public square is enough to make you guilty? Like I said, he hired a bad guy.
Yeah.
Meaning he has obviously a morally corrupt person. There's no question about that. Guy's dead. While he worked
Wexner
for
or Epstein?
No, Epstein.
Oh yeah, of course.
Wexner's alive.
Yeah.
While he worked for Wexner, Wexner paid him a lot of money, and on top of that, Epstein stole money from him. But he had nothing to do with any of the decrepit behavior. If anything, you can make the case that Bill Clinton did. Bill Clinton campaigned with Sherrod Brown Monday before Election Day. You're going to call Sherrod Brown and go, do you renounce Bill Clinton?
Now, Manu Raju, legend on Capitol Hill, not with the MeidasTouch network, although he's great. I like Manu, one of the few reporters, from corporate news who I think do a really good job, just because he knows what he's doing. Boom, boom, boom. Just ask those questions. Manu Raju then spoke with embattled, would be putting it lightly, Tony Gonzalez over in Uvalde in Texas. He's the guy who sexually harassed his staffer, and then she died by suicide by burning herself, and then he covered it up. And just a despicable, filthy individual, this Tony Gonzalez. Watch this interaction right here. Let's play it.
But you came in second place. I mean, that's got to be. You came in second place.
I did well. We did well last night. I'm proud of the work we did last night. There's more work to have.
Are you denying
this is my third runoff in 4 cycles.
But this is the first time these allegations
and I know how
have
to win
come.
runoffs.
This is the first time these allegations
we will win this
came
runoff
up.
as well.
But
Thank you.
But this is the first time you've run when these allegations have been public, have come out.
I just ran right now. I just ran
Yes, it's the first time you came out since this has been alleged that you had.
Runoff. Not everyone last night was successful. We were successful to get to the runoff.
Right. So are you denying that you had an affair with this woman?
I will address the allegations today. Thank you.
Do you have any response to the censure resolution that was on the floor?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers, and thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.